Kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from hang on, Surprise, Arizona. For some reason I was going to say Sun City again. Haven't done that for over a year. Welcome to Before the Dirt Nap podcast number 1818. And tonight, as you can see, I have a very special guest on. This is Peggy Campagna, and she is an incredible woman. I love her story, and we've brought her on tonight to share that for you. But Peggy, before we get into that, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you, Helen, and I'm glad to know some other people forget where they're from sometimes too.
Well, for 2.5 years I was saying Sun City, and for the last 14 months I've been saying Surprise, and I don't know where Sun City came from tonight.
You're going backwards.
Now, I do have to let our listeners and watchers in on a little secret that you are currently 80 years old. But
Yes.
you don't look it, and two, there's something just went past. The lifestyle you are living is not that of a typical 80-year-old.
That's correct. I'm so blessed and thankful. Yes.
Your story reminds me very much of my parents, because my parents are both 80 as well. They are way more active than I am, and they're always out volunteering for this, that, and the other thing, and going on trips and hikes, and they just blow my mind. They're always in the garden. Gardening, green thumb completely skipped me.
Well, somehow, to me, movement and being active, I mean, that is just what I've always liked, really, really, Helen. And I mean, I don't care what age. And to me, you should be able to do that for the rest of your life. I mean, I don't, otherwise I don't really want to be here.
But let's talk about this. You spent 26 years with State Farm, and before that you were also in the airlines as an air steward. So that's a lot of history in there.
Well, at age 10, I was in a blackberry patch outside of Lindale, Texas. And that airplane up in the sky caught my attention, and I was intrigued. I mean, I became obsessed with getting up in one of those big airplanes. And that's all I wanted to do, period. And so at the age of 20, I went with Braniff, because Braniff was the only airline that hired you at age 20. Everybody else was 21. So I jumped at the chance. And for sure I wanted to get off that farm, I'm sure. But the bad thing about it was jumping in thinking that was going to be able to do that for the rest of my life. Well, I didn't prepare myself. I did not go and finish a college degree. I just never thought about it, young and thinking you're all set. Well, when Braniff filed bankruptcy, that was like devastating. It was terrible. It was May the 12th of 1982. And I was 18 years of my life had been devoted to that career. So, I'm like, oh boy, what in the world am I going to do? And I had a 10-year-old. I was a single mom with a 10-year-old wonderful little boy who's now going to be 53 this year. So I'm like, oh my gosh. I was just beside myself, overwhelmed, terrified. And literally to the point, thank God, he literally one day said to me one morning, it was just with nearly tears in his eyes. I mean, he was cracking, his little voice was cracking. He just said, Mom, are we going to be okay? I mean, he was just terrified. Well, thank goodness he mentioned that, because I just sat him down at that point. I had not realized that, I mean, I know kids pick up and know everything we're feeling more than we know. And I just hadn't thought about it. So I just sat him down and I said, look, darling, you're picking up my uncertainty, because I truly have no idea what I'm going to be doing. Not whatsoever. And you're just picking up that. But I can guarantee you one thing. And in that moment, it was an absolute knowing in every cell of my body. I said, babe, no matter what I end up doing, we will be okay. And it just shifted him and it shifted me. And I'm so thankful, going through that. he literally posed that because I don't think all kids do. You know,
Mhm.
a lot of kids would never even come out with it. I'm just so grateful that he did. So that was what literally got me started looking and, going forward. And thank goodness I ended up with State Farm. Uh, that in itself is just a miracle. I would have never, ever, ever thought of selling insurance. I mean, who would want to sell insurance? I mean, that
And
was
how many years did you end up doing that?
26. But I'm going, oh my word. But a friend of mine had gone to work for it was a Continental office, it was an office supply company. And she had gone to work there. And she called me one day and she says, Peggy, if I can do this, you can do this. And there's going to be an opening downtown Dallas territory, outside sales. Well, I'd never done sales. I'd never thought about sales. So
Mhm.
I went, okay. So she said, come on down and talk to Faulkner and tell him. She even told me to exactly what to ask for salary. I mean, she gave me everything to say. So
That's awesome.
I know it. It was amazing. I mean, talk about angels. Do I have a lot
Mhm.
of angels? But uh, I go down, I call, make an appointment, go down. I do a little one page, front and back application.
Mhm.
At 80 years old, I've never done a resume in my life. It was never more than that little application. And so I go down there and they hire me on the spot. And I'm going, what? Well, about a year and a half later, there's a guy they hired on, and I didn't know this man from
Yep.
Adam. But one morning after a sales meeting, walking back to the cubicles, he said, Peggy, have you ever thought of selling insurance? I said, oh no, my gosh, no. And he said, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but you need to go talk to this man. And I'm going, oh my word. It was so weird. The hair stood up on the back of my neck.
Mhm.
So I wrote down his name and number. I called him that day and made an appointment. I went in on Friday, but that same week, and I said, Mr. England, I have no idea what I'm doing here, but Glenn told me I needed to talk to you. Helen, 6 months, I mean, literally 6 months later, I'm opening my office to my agency.
Wow, that is awesome.
It was it was absolutely a whirlwind crazy. I mean, he said, you just keep working your job. And he handed me all these like 458 questions to memorize and learn. I know it. And I thought, well, how am I going to do this?
Excuse me.
And bless you.
Thank you.
How am I going to do this? And also learn all of this? What am I going to do? I've got to work. Well, I recorded them. And while I was driving around to my appointments, I played it back in the car all day long.
Very wise.
I mean, I took those tests. I, got the exams done, and then I'll never forget whenever I had gone back in over time. And he said, "Well, there's only one thing. We normally never hire anybody without a degree." And I'm thinking, "Oh, well, there's no way. I'm not going to get it." And he said, but you've got street smarts. And I went, oh,
Mhm.
hallelujah. So that was my start at State Farm.
That's awesome. Now, like you said, you had a 26-year career with State Farm. How did it shape you with your entrepreneurial spirit that you now have?
Well, at State Farm, I didn't even know any of this either. But when you're in the insurance business, you write an auto policy or you write any kind of policy. And then when they renew, you get income. So
Oh.
it's residual
Mhm.
income. Do one thing one time, and then all of a sudden, over time, I mean, it takes a lot of policies to make very much money, but over time, that's how your income. It was strictly, I had a zero scratch agency. I started just one policy at a time.
Mhm.
So that's what was my beginning taste of like a residual passive income.
Okay.
So that I still didn't really think of doing anything else. I thought, well, State Farm will be it for me. I mean,
Mhm.
and then as I got older, stress, tons of stress. And I'd always been curious about natural products. In my
Yep.
20s, I read Prevention Magazine from start to finish, and just anything. I started taking, garlic and vitamin C for my sinus infections. Just anything natural I could do. That's what I like to do.
Oh,
And I was,
you're preaching to the choir here.
Mhm.
I do not take prescription medication unless absolutely required. If there
Yeah,
is a natural way I can heal whatever it is, I will take that before I take medication. And all my doctors, whenever I go walk in the door, that's the first I says, right, this is me. I do not take medication unless absolutely required. I would rather try natural remedies first. And if you aren't prepared to assist me with that, I need to find another doctor.
yeah, and that's the smartest thing I know. Me too, and I know they hate to see me coming because I ask so many questions. If they're going to offer me anything, I'm going, well, wait a minute. Well, what would that be for? you know. So, but you have to be that way. You have to take care of your own body. Is
Mm-hmm.
what I have learned. But and with that stress of State Farm, I mean, I was literally stressing my body, and I started having issues. Primarily, I'm sure I was inflamed from head to toe, just through all of that. And especially my hands were so sore. And then a friend of mine introduced me to a company that was a direct sales company that literally had products, two products, 2 weeks. I took it twice a day, and my hands had improved 60%. They were
That's
so bad.
awesome.
They were so bad I couldn't even intertwine my fingers or shampoo my hair with my fingers. But it was amazing. So I'm going, oh my gosh. Well, I didn't think about it being a business. And as a State Farm agent, here I am selling mutual funds. So I'm licensed through all the securities, rules and regulations. I'll never forget when they started sending me money. I went, oh my gosh. I called the compliance person that was, oversaw everything for us. And I said, I didn't intend to do this. I do have a business. I guess I do. So what do I do? And she said, well, you just have to file it. It was absolutely crazy. But that was the next step of literally realizing, well, gosh, they just send me money, and all I do is share my good fortune and pay it forward.
Yep.
So it's really a blessing if you enjoy, well, to me, any product, anything that you have, you
Mhm.
can do that way. It doesn't matter what it is, whatever your passion's about. Is the way I
Oh,
look.
I have a lot of those types of businesses that I'm involved with simply because I like the products.
Mhm.
And it's sort of like if I'm going to like these products, I want them as cheap as I can get them, which usually means I have to sign up as a distributor, an associate, an affiliate, whatever.
Whatever they call it.
Yep. And then I don't actively go out there and go, oh, you've got to have this for the da 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 da. No, it's just something that comes up in general conversation. I am not a pushy salesperson. I don't go, oh, you need to have this, and have you heard about this? Have you heard about that? And yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is not this girl.
Oh, me neither. I mean, I share it, and really, it really doesn't matter if they do it or not, but I feel like a hypocrite if I don't, at least if I know of something and that information is coming to me, if I don't at least tell them, I
Mhm.
really feel like it's my duty to at least say, well, you might want to look at this. It may be something that, and it may not be something you want, but, and my big deal too, when I was approaching 60, I knew I could retire from State Farm and have
Mhm.
a wonderful income. I didn't know what it was because I never paid any attention. I had never really looked it up, but I just knew that I could not run a State Farm agency when I'm 100.
Yep.
And I really wanted something that I could do until I'm no longer on this earth, because I don't want to just sit and not have something I can do. And then watching my clients that were retired and on fixed incomes, I remember sitting there and they would just literally just be so upset and trying to figure out if they could spend, if it would not, if they bottom line, they were going to outlive their income. So they were
Mhm.
trying to even see if they could spend maybe an extra $13 a month or something. I'm thinking, I don't care how big my income is. I don't want to ever be on a fixed one. So,
Yeah. I hear you on that one. So now tell me, these issues these health issues you started having while you're working for State Farm obviously led you to discovering how important health and longevity is. And is that what led you into the health and wellness field that you're now in?
Well, as I was trying to find something to do, I remember basically just, I was getting income from that other company, not from the company I am representing now, but from the one company. And I didn't think about it, but one day I kept hearing over the radio uh, somebody calling in a question would be talking about a certain question about a book. Wherever you go, there you are.
Mm-hmm.
And after the third time, over a period of like 6 to 8 months, every time I thought to myself, okay, I'm going to get that book. Finally, the third time, I literally say out loud in my car driving back to the office, okay, universe, I will get that book this weekend. It was like 3 times, coming at me, and I'm not asking for it. So that was on a Friday. Saturday morning, I'm at a friend's house to help her unpack. She had moved. The first box I opened, the top of that box was that book. And then I was reading it about 3/4 of the way. It was interesting, but not earth shattering, mostly stuff
Yep.
And about 3/4 of the way through that book, there was this one sentence that just like jumped up and down and danced all around. And I mean, it said, everyone needs a job with a capital J, something they would do every day of their life if they never made 1 red cent. And I went, oh my gosh, Peggy, you're already doing it. And I
Yeah.
didn't know it. So I go home and I tell my husband, babe, I'm retiring. He nearly had a coronary, but we did. But to me, it's just, and I've never looked back, literally, because I
Yep.
love helping now. It's a tool that for me, my product is paid for and tons more. But the beauty of it is I get to help other people get paid to be healthy. I mean, I literally, that's the best part about it. That's why I'm so healthy. I know, and enjoying life. And I never want to stop learning. So it gives me something to literally make me want to get up out of bed every morning and just know that I can support my body naturally and help others do the same. I mean, it's just the same basically as you are, Helen, and all the passions that you have, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know my story probably better than I do.
I just paid attention. That's all. Do you remember who the author was for your book? For the book, wherever you go, there you are.
No, I do not. I do not
Okay.
remember. But I don't even know if I paid attention to who he was, really. But wherever you go, there you are. I looked it up, tried to look it up one time, and I don't believe I could not find it uh, anymore. But that was in 19. Let's see, what was that? 20. That was in 2009. Was
Okay.
whenever I was reading it. But I just feel so blessed that I found things to repair this old body faster than it falls apart.
I love that.
That's been my motto for so many years, and it
So that's what we've
really,
got going across the bottom of the screen. Book a Zoom with Peggy to have a conversation about repairing your body faster than it falls apart. Go to fitafterlife50.com/connect.
oh, well, thank you
I
so much.
saw that, and I saw that piece about repairing your body faster than it falls apart, and I thought, I love that. I absolutely love that.
Well, think about it, because from about the age 25, we just keep producing things we don't do very well at. And so I'm thinking, well, gosh, if I could figure out how to kind of supplement that a little bit, it
I
really
hear you. I hear you. Now, you just recently came back from a trip from Bosnia. Now, on the Before the Dirt Nap, we're all about living our best life now. And you have proven with, I've been watching your Facebook page and everything else and seeing all these incredible photos of you in Bosnia, and I'm just like looking at that and going, you are living your best life now. You've been living your best life for a while since you retired, and age is not a factor in any of it. And there's a
That's
lot of people, and I've heard so many people go, oh, I'm too old to go back to school, and I go, really? They're like, I said, did you know Oprah once had a guy on her show who was 96 and had just learned to read at the age of 96?
Wow.
And they're like, really? I says, yeah. I said, there's another woman over here in her 90s who just graduated with a master's in whatever it was in. You know, I pick up all these stories, and it just proves to me that age is not, you know, people go, oh, I'm too old to do that. I'm too old to do this. And yet you are living proof that age does not matter.
That's true.
Getting out there as age is, and my theory is age is always 10 years older than what you are now. So therefore you will never be old.
That's a great point.
Yes.
Yeah. And those candles, number of candles on the cake really does not matter. It's the whatever we have are healthy, we keep our insides.
Well, the way I look at it is that here in the States, it's winter time when I have my birthday. So I need something to keep me warm. Put all those candles on the cake. That'll keep me warm for a while. In New Zealand, it's like, no, don't worry about the candles. It's too hot because it's the middle of summer.
Yeah, June is my birthday. I don't want those candles.
Well, see, if you're in New Zealand, you would. Because it's winter, opposite seasons.
That's true. Well, I'd have to move to New Zealand to really enjoy that for sure.
Now, here's a really cool concept. If you ever want to sell, if you go down to New Zealand or Australia before your birthday, or even Japan before your birthday, and you fly home on your birthday, you can actually celebrate your birthday in 2 countries and 4 hemispheres on the same day.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I had it all worked out. So for my 50th, we didn't get to do this because of Brad's health at the time, but for my 50th, I planned out, we're going to go down to New Zealand 2 weeks prior to my birthday. On my birthday, we'll be in Auckland, which is where we have to fly out of. We're going to celebrate lunch with my family that lives in Auckland, and my parents would have been there as well. Celebrate my 50th. And then that evening, I would get on a plane. The flight left around 9:30, 9:47, somewhere around there. And it would get into LA at around 1 o'clock, between 1 and 2 o'clock in the afternoon on the same day. It would still be my birthday. So then we could celebrate my 50th birthday with Brad's family who lives in LA.
Oh, perfect.
And I was like, you know, we could do 2 countries and 4 hemispheres. And my husband's like, no. Well, actually, no, he didn't say no that time. He said it when I was turning 45. He said no. So we ended up doing a river cruise in Europe. For my 50th, he got grounded. He was not allowed to travel because of his health.
Oh.
So I didn't get to do it that time. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, that really would be. Now, I don't think I would want to do that because when I go to New Zealand, and that is on my bucket list, I want to go to South Island and walk those beautiful terrains. That would be so neat. But I don't think that would be very good to do in the wintertime, would it?
You want to go down? Well, yeah, we do get snow in the South Island. So yeah, we've lost the Homer Tunnel a few times with avalanches, and the Homer Tunnel connects Milford Sound with the rest of the South Island. It's the main route. It's the only route into the Fiordland by road. And so sometimes they kind of lose the Homer Tunnel. The road just goes into the snowbank.
Wow.
And they have to go and dig out the whole tunnel entrance. But apparently they've put some stuff up there to help with all the avalanche stuff and that now. Yeah. So I can't wait to go and see what they've done. But they've apparently improved that area so they don't lose the road as much if there's an avalanche.
Oh, that's good.
Like, and then people go to me, they go, it gets that cold in New Zealand? I says, yes, we have world-class skiing in New Zealand. For those that like to ski, we have world-class skiing. We even have world championships are held down there. I says a lot of the pros go down there in the off-season in the Northern Hemisphere. They will go down to New Zealand because it's snow seasons down there and do all their skiing, so they can actually ski year-round.
Well, you really do have all 4 seasons there.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. See, in Texas, we don't. We have a long summer and short falls and literally short springs and maybe real short winters.
Well, here in Arizona, it's either hot or it's not.
Yeah.
That's it. And when it's hot, you have the chance of they have a monsoon season here, but we haven't seen that much rain so far. Well, not in the area where I live. It seems to go around where I live.
Well, maybe it's your luck to do that, or do you want to?
I love rain. I love rain. It rains. I run outside and dance in the rain, and my dog stands in the doorway and just watches. even though there's a covered porch, or there's a covering over the patio, there's a covering over the front porch, she just stands there and just looks at me like, "What the hell are you doing?
What are you doing out there, you dummy?"
She says, "I'm just going to stay here where it's nice," and she does not like getting wet.
Well, it does. It's very refreshing to play. It makes you feel like you're a kid again. See, Helen, you're truly a kid at heart.
Oh, I am. I love to go out, dance in the rain. If there's puddles, I'll go jump in them. I was meeting a group cruise one time. We were down at the we're going on a carnival ship, and so we're down at the port there in Long Beach, and we've got our table set up for those on the group to come and check in with us before they go and get on the ship. And it starts raining, and we're under the shelter area there, and it starts raining. And I'm like, oh, it's raining. I said, who wants to come and dance in the rain? And they looked at me and they go, you actually do that? Because they had heard about it, because I talk about it a lot. I said, yeah. I said, who wants to come dance with me? So one of the girls got up there, and I was just sort of like, we had no music, but we were just dancing along anyway. And her husband whips out his phone and videotapes us dancing in the rain.
Well, you're so lucky too with your naturally curly hair that it probably just makes it cuter than ever.
Well, it is actually naturally wavy, but since when it was long and I got it chopped off to short, it just went really, really curly for some. And in fact, the longer it got, the more ringlets it got. And I'm like, I've always had wavy hair, but yeah, and even when I had long hair when I was younger, it never did the ringlet thing. But for some reason, it started doing the ringlet thing. I'm like, this is interesting. So I went and got it chopped off, and this has been growing for about a year now. So it's gone all curly again on me.
Well, that's, there's all kinds of things that we deal with as we get older, as we're aging. But that sounds like some things are wonderful.
Oh, yeah. I like to play. I like to have fun. So Bosnia, how long were you there? What did you get to see and do? Did you travel by yourself? Did you travel with a group?
I traveled with a small group of 7. There were 4 of us from Dallas that went. And it was a very small group. A friend of mine, that was her 8th trip to Bosnia. So she really knows what to go see in Bosnia. So that was what was so intriguing to me. And we were there 16 days. And the amazing thing was we were out, and it was unseasonably hot. And we were out in the sun from like 10 to 5 every day. And this wonderful product I have now, I didn't even blister with my Irish skin. I could not believe it.
Awesome.
I didn't even wear one bit of sunscreen. I'm just blown away. But it was very physical. I told my little trainer that I work out with twice a week, I said, I had at least 2 cardio workouts every day because all the climbing and over the rocks, and it was very, very physical. But and somehow the word got out that I was going to be 80. I was the oldest one. We met up with a group of about 50 to take tours of the pyramids in Bosnia. Fantastic.
Bosnia has pyramids?
Fantastic pyramids. Everybody needs to put that on their go list to go see the pyramids in Bosnia. Beautiful tunnels they're cleaning out, trying to get to the center of the pyramid. When you Google it, they downplay it because I think the pyramids in Egypt, they want the draw there and they don't want to share any money. Well, this guy, Dr. Sam, that found these like in 2004, I think it was, he has a beautiful park and it's all free. But he is such a kind, humble person that's just really putting it out there for the good for everybody. But you need to go to Bosnia. It's beautiful, green hills everywhere, definitely little rivers and waterfalls everywhere. I mean,
your photos were fantastic that you were posting on Facebook as you were going through Bosnia. They were amazing.
Yeah, it was really challenging at times, but I mean, I could do everything. People were just shocked that I was the one that was 80. They knew somebody turned 80, and then when they found out it was me, they go, "You're 80?"
That was my first question when you told me how old you were. I was sort of like, you can't be 80.
I certainly feel like I'm about 40, maybe. I work out with my trainer, and he tells me all the time, Peggy, your workouts are better, or you do more weight, more reps, more everything than my 40 and 50-year-olds. I'm going,
that's awesome. You go, girl.
I love it.
So then I have to ask the question, if you were the oldest one in the group, how young was the youngest person in the group?
Probably, maybe, I don't know for sure, but probably maybe 45.
Okay.
I know the one girl I was with climbing it's a mountain or hill in Medjugorje. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. It's where Mother Mary appears before some people.
Okay.
And Helen, it is straight up and climbing over huge rocks, no path. And I climbed that with a 51-year-old.
Wow.
And she said, "Oh my, you are in good shape." But I know she was 51. There was probably a guy maybe in his 40s, but and most of them I think were average, probably maybe 60. I know. Well, no, there was a woman who psychologist that was 41. I guess she's probably the youngest. But
Okay.
yeah, it was interesting for sure.
So Bosnia is now going on my list. Now, was it a wet heat with the humidity, or was it a dry heat?
Oh, you were sopping wet, but it wasn't as wet as Houston. You know, it's not as dry as Surprise, Arizona, for sure.
Well, I don't know. I would go out for a walk in the morning and it's like 39, 40% humidity, sometimes 49% humidity, and we come home and we're drenched.
Okay, well, it may be similar then. It wasn't as humid as here at times either in Dallas, but it was, you were hot and you were perspiring, you were sopping wet all over. A lot.
Okay, so extra clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just writing down my list. Extra clothes, lots of showers.
Yep. And make sure, I wish I had planned to
Spare shoes.
very comfortable shoes.
No, I'm putting down spare shoes because my feet will probably get all hot and sweaty, which will make I need to like give them a rest and put another pair on to do the next day.
Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, you would.
Yeah, rotate the shoes so they're drying out completely because it's not. Yeah,
Yeah,
we used to go We used to go tramping a lot as when my teenage years went tramping a lot with my parents, or tramping, hiking, and we'd come and getting that hot sweaty stuff inside your boots, and then having to like make sure that overnight that you eat. And we did I've done camping trips on the mountain in New Zealand, one of the mountains there, and we have to literally dry our boots out at night from the sweat that was in our boots. Very and put dry socks on the next morning,
or you would have bad blisters for sure.
Oh, not blisters, more fungus.
Fungus infections,
athlete's foot, that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Well, when you go, plan to go on over to Croatia because you're right there.
Yep.
That I wish I had done that. That's the only thing. But every day in Bosnia was just gorgeous, just absolutely beautiful. So, in the little bit southern Bosnia where we were, the water along a river, we'd stop and eat lunch at these beautiful places. That water was so cold, it was like you were sitting
mountain water.
It was what?
Mountain water?
Well, it had to be coming from the mountains, yeah. And even in Bosnia, we were drinking water out of the mountain, and it was nice and cold. But that, in those other places, it was so cold. It was like an AC unit seeping up on you just from the water being down there just beside the water.
Nice. Because I always remember our tramps on the mountain is that if our water bottles got empty, we just filled it up from the river. We'd just stand in the river and put it down into the water and let the water bottle fill up. And there is nothing like fresh, cold mountain water. It is unbelievably, you just can't describe it. You can't, I mean, even just putting filtered water in a bottle in the refrigerator will not bring you anywhere close to what mountain water is like. And I've, it's been a lot of years since it's been over, when did I last walk Egmont? That would have been probably when I was 17. So that was like 40 years ago.
Oh, wow.
It's been 40, but I can still taste because it's so crystal clear and ice cold. Yeah. And
have you been on a glacier itself and caught
that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like you're describing. Yes, absolutely. Nothing like it to me.
Yeah. And this is like, and even if there was no snow on the mountain, you still got the fresh, cold mountain water because there's obviously springs coming up somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. Yeah, but I've been on glaciers. I like those. Although nobody told me I had to stay in the plane track, so I just jumped out of the plane and went thigh deep in snow.
Oh my God.
The pilot did not say, stay in the ski tracks. When we get on the glacier, when you get out, just stay in the ski tracks. You'll be fine. Nope. What does Helen do? I'm the last person to get out of the plane, jumps out, and just sinks up to my thighs in snow.
Helen, we need to go on a trip together. That would be so much fun.
And then we're just like having snowball fights, and I was with my ex-husband, and him and I were having snowball fights, and we were where there was a lot of there were Asian people. I'm trying to remember, I think they were Koreans, and they were like standing huddled over here by the bigger plane, and because we were in a a 4-passenger one, and they're standing over by the one that was the 10-passenger one with their friends, and they're all just like sitting there, and they kept turning around taking photos and videos of us.
You were entertaining.
I was on Tasman Glacier that's up in the Southern Alps there, and there's Mount Cook, which is our tallest peak, is like right there. I was just having a blast, and I was like running around the glacier because the thing I liked about it is that you could get those bits where they had the snow drifts and stuff, and you'd look down and you get that clear ice blue color that you cannot get unless you're on a mountain and you're looking into that deep snow. Like you create a hole in the snow and you look down and there's that crystal ice blue color. And so I was just taking pictures of those, making sure I didn't drop my camera in the snow because I probably would have lost it.
Yeah, that would have been hard to find.
But it was just a fun day, and it was just so much fun. And I love doing that sort of stuff. And Brad at times when we were on some of our trips, he'd just sit there and just go, I am not with her.
Well, you're going to have to tell me when you're going somewhere. I may have to hook up with you, girl.
I just like to have fun, and I'm an outgoing introvert, so I can stay with people for a certain amount of time, and then I have to go isolate myself and recharge my batteries.
Yeah, that's me too. Yeah.
Yeah. And if I'm going to bed at 9:00 at night and everybody's going out to party, it's like, you go do that, I'm going to go to sleep.
I'm fine where I am. That's so true. I love it.
We could have a lot of fun.
We really, really could. I look forward to it.
Oh, absolutely. It's just, life is short.
Yes.
I mean, that was when Brad had cancer, we learned that life is short. And for some people, it's even shorter. Someday never comes, so why not do it now?
Yes.
And laughter is the best medicine.
Totally.
And we also learned that the true value of a hug, how to give a hug that conveys what you can't convey in words. So it's a soul speaking to a soul.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. You got to hold it and hug though for at least 15 to 20 seconds for it to take effect.
Oh, that nothing tops a hug. I have to have my quota all the time.
Oh, you do realize there is a quota you have to have of hugs.
Yes, I do, but tell us, because that is
okay. 4 hugs a day for survival, 8 hugs a day for maintenance. I've got it on my computer over here. 12 hugs a day for growth.
Yeah, that's a good place to put it to remind you, because you get busy and you don't really get those hugs if you don't.
No, I've got to hug the dog because there's no other person here to hug. So she gets lots of hugs. Yes, I'm talking about you.
Well, I sometimes just go outside and say, hey, you need that.
Yep. So Peggy, we are way over, but that's okay. My show, my rules. If we go over, that's okay. I want to say thank you so much for coming on and sharing your experiences and talking about living our best life now. And it's important that we know our bodies, that we know what's going on with our bodies. We know when something's wrong. We know when we've got to get that extra help that we need. We know when we can do the natural remedies and that sort of thing as well. So thank you for coming on and sharing that. What are your final words for everybody?
Oh gosh, my final words to anyone is just pay attention to your bodies. Really, literally, pay attention to what they're telling you. If you're working out and you got a pain somewhere, don't push through it. That Jane Fonda with that feel the burn and keep on going. Forget that.
Oh, I used to do that in the 80s.
Well, there's a point to push and there's a point to stop, and just pay attention to what's best for you and have fun. Fun is capital F, capital U, capital N is the only way to go. If it can't be fun, don't call me.
I love it. And if you'd like, thank you again, Peggy. And if you'd like to have a chat with Peggy about, repairing your body faster than it falls apart, I love that. Please go to fitafter50life.com/connect. It's going across the bottom of the screen right now, and you'll be able to connect with her and have a great conversation with her. Have some fun. As you can see, Peggy is all about fun with a capital F, a capital U, and a capital N. So, Peggy, once again, thank you so much for coming on. Truly, truly appreciate it.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you.
And to everybody else out there, thank you for joining us and watching. That's the end of our episode for this evening. So we will catch you guys back here tomorrow. Let's see, tomorrow's Wednesday. Yes. Oh, I got to cross tonight. One's off. So we'll see you guys back here tomorrow evening.